Thomas, can boards realistically ensure responsibility for handling AI in the right way and for basing their decisions on the right information?
So it's a duty of boards. So if you think on executive boards, but especially on supervisory boards and advisory boards, it's their duty to make sure that the company complies on the one hand side with regulation, but on the other hand side also with their own guidelines and so on. And therefore the boards really have to drive that topic. It has to be on their agenda. And on the other hand side, if you have guidelines, if you have, for example, a charter where you say, well, what do we want to do with AI? It really drives innovation and it drives speed, because everybody in the company really has to know what is the aim, what is the vision, what is the North Star where we are aiming to with AI on the one hand side. And on the other hand side, every employee is asking, what am I allowed to do and what am I not allowed to do? And if we have these guardrails, it really speeds up innovation like hell. And I have done that with several companies where we have traffic lights, where we say, if you have an AI project which is fitting to that criteria, it's a green light, go ahead. You can do that. And on the other hand side, we say that are the areas which are definitely a no-go. On the one hand side, of course, legislation is giving you a few guardrails on that. But on the other hand side, you can also have your own rules where you say, that is what we want to do with AI and what we don't want to do on this AI. Of course, there is a gray, or we call it in traffic lights, it's a yellow area where you have to talk to somebody. And of course, you have to have governance in place where you have committees or where you have decision makers who say, we go for it or we don't go for it. On the one hand side, of course, based on business concepts and of ROI, where you say, I invest in this area, but on the other hand side also, if you say, I allow the people to work in this area or I don't do. And only if you have all that in place, and you need high-level guardrails. You don't have to do it on a very detailed level because the world is changing so fast. If you define it today, tomorrow there is a new example, and you need these guidelines which always can be taken, and you can make decisions based on the topic you have on the table there.